What's up guys, today we're back on the Crew 2. I wasn't gonna make this video because I already did a little review on the beta, but that was based on the first day of the open beta. Since then I've played a lot more and I think this is generally just a fun game. There's been many different opinions on the Crew 2. A lot of people say it sucks, a lot of people say it's really good. In my last video I was talking about how a lot of people say the graphics are like Legos, but I've actually seen people saying that they love the graphics. Now, in my opinion, the graphics aren't amazing, they're not Forza level, but they're also not as bad as people have been saying. The main graphics problem is the buildings and stuff like that. The cars and vehicles look fine. But if you want this game for the graphics, you'll probably be disappointed because it's not some amazing, crazy looking thing to see in 4K or anything like that. The great parts of this game are in the gameplay. You have a ton of vehicles to choose from. I've heard that there will be more vehicles on full release, but even in the beta, there's a ton of different vehicles to choose from. You've got a ton of drift cars, racing cars, motorcycles, dirt bikes, off-road cars, boats, planes, just about anything you can think of. The drifting in here is easier than what I've seen in any other racing game. I haven't played many racing games or driving games lately besides this and Forza, but if you have a drift vehicle in the Crew 2, it's very easy to drift, but also a ton of fun in my opinion. The racing is also pretty fun, but in terms of being realistic, it's not very realistic with driving. The driving mechanics feel pretty clunky and your car feels just heavy and awkward sometimes. This isn't a really realistic game like Forza, so if you're trying to play the next Forza by playing this, you won't be able to do that. This has more of a GTA type arcadey feel to it. It feels a little bit like GTA if GTA was 100% based on driving and flying. It's not realistic, but it's a lot of fun to get on here and race around with some friends and doing stunts and free roam. Getting performance parts to make your vehicle better and faster is actually a lot different in here. I've never really played the first Crew game, so I don't know how upgrades were in there, but in here you earn parts from races and finding crates on the map. You don't actually buy the performance parts, but it's a nice change and it's nice to earn things in a different way from other racing games. Money is still important in here though, because money is how you buy the vehicles and how you customize them. There's lots of different parts of your vehicles that you can customize depending on the vehicle. There's different things that you can do to it, and the customization to the visuals of your vehicle is actually pretty great. Another cool thing is the different weather systems. I know it's kind of like whatever since pretty much every game has different weather systems, but I actually like it in here a lot because the weather changes every once in a while from sunny, cloudy, foggy, raining, and snowing. It's weird though because when it's snowing, it snows everywhere including Florida. So yeah, it's not some like super realistic game, but I don't think this game is really trying to be realistic. It's just a fun game to get on here and play. Another thing is that the map is really huge. Again, we talked about this in my last beta review video, but the map is really big and I love it. I don't know if they have plans to expand to other countries or continents in future DLC, but either way, the map is the entire United States, or pretty much the whole thing. As you can see, the map's a little weird. Texas is non-existent and Florida looks a little weird, and obviously the map isn't thousands of miles long like the actual United States is. I actually think it's less than like 100 miles long, but either way, it's an awesome map spanning from Vegas to Los Angeles, New York, Florida, and many other places. The stunts are a big part of where this game is great. If you played GTA 5 back in the early days of GTA 5, that's what this reminds me of. Stunts were a huge part of GTA 5 back then, and stunts are a huge part in here as well. And it does a great job at making them fun to do and makes you want to do stunts. A big part in here that makes the stunts different and really cool is the transition to other vehicles. Once you have a boat, a plane, and a car, you can switch to any of them instantly. It's really fun to do when you're doing some stunts or just driving around. And that goes into my other favorite thing in here, which is the free roam. Free roam is a ton of fun in here. Again, it's like GTA in this sense. With the map being so huge, there's so much to do and explore with your friends. You can sit there and fly around and do stunts, which I found myself doing for hours with my friend. We were sitting there doing stunts and just driving around for hours, didn't even realize it had been hours while we were doing that. And it's just really fun to do different challenges with your friends, make different stunts that you guys have to do. It's just a lot of fun to do in free roam. Now, this game's pretty good, but of course it has its flaws. First off, a flaw that I mentioned in my last video was that you can only have 7 people in a session and a 4-man crew. I've heard from multiple other people since then that they only made it a 7-person session for the beta though, and we'll be getting a bigger session in the full game. I don't know how many people per session. If so, then that makes the game a lot better because that's probably the biggest thing that I hated. But if they are only doing the 7-person sessions in the beta, why? Aren't the betas supposed to be a stress test on the server so you can see what the game is actually like and what you need to do to adjust it before the full release? I haven't seen Ubisoft actually say that the actual full game servers will be bigger than 7 people, but if you guys have seen Ubisoft confirm this, leave a link or something down in the comments so I can see it. Because seeing that Ubisoft 9 times out of 10 has server problems with any online game that they release, this would be pretty weird to do. Also, just a disclaimer for this game, since I've seen many people asking this game is only online. There's no single player or offline play. The Crew 2 focuses mainly mainly on playing with friends and meeting other players, so it will not be offline. Some people might hate that and others might be okay with it, but I just want to put that out there. Also, in my last video, I mentioned that I like the life in The Crew 2 and how the world feels actually lived in compared to most other racing games that don't feel lived in at all. There's no people or anything like that. But The Crew 2 does have a lot of traffic and people walking around, so it does feel really lived in, but I'm changing that now to me hating it. The traffic is insanely annoying because of how they seem to purposely stop in the middle of the road to make you hit them. And a lot of the time I'll still maneuver around them, but they have some type of invisible barrier that I end up hitting sometimes. But that's pretty much all I have to say, guys. Just a really quick review type video. Again, this review is fully based on the beta of the game, but seeing that the game comes out 2 days after the beta ends for gold members, if you bought the gold edition of the game for $100, I don't see the full game being much different than the beta. I don't know how much they can change in 2 days. But yeah, if you bought the gold edition, the game comes out, I believe, on the 26th. And then the 29th for anybody who bought the regular version. I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure that is the release dates for it. As of now, I'm giving this game a 7 out of 10 because it's not a bad game, but it's also not, in my opinion, a game that you really need. It's not a $60 game and definitely not a $100 game. But obviously that's my opinion and not everyone else's, because I've seen tons of people talking about how they bought the gold edition. This game is a ton of fun if you want to casually play a racing game with some friends. If you're a hardcore driving fan or a racing game fan, I don't see this game really appealing to you, and you'd probably just want to wait until Forza Horizon 4 comes out in a few months. But everyone has different tastes in games. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this game so far. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.